All right, everybody, here we are. The first episode of the Lavender Tone. Keep in mind, the other one was just the pilot. We weren't actually even going to post it, but it turned out pretty okay, so we did it. But yeah, here we are, episode 1. What are your feelings, AJ?
My feelings of,
How do you feel about episode 1?
oh, I'm excited. I'm ready to start this. I'm ready
Good,
to see
because
where it takes us.
it's going to take you to a place at the end that you're not going to like, if the
Yeah.
pilot was any indication. So,
hmm
mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah, we kind of have the same format every week. We'll go through the news, and then we'll also at the end play some type of game, or have some kind of competition. We'll open card packs, go pack for pack. We'll do trivia stuff for AJ because he's not great at it, and it's fun. And yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's get started with the news. I thought it was going to be a. Do you have something to say, AJ?
No, I'm ready to talk about the news.
Okay, cool. So I thought there wasn't going to be much news, but there's a little bit more than I thought. So yeah, in Pokemon Go, starting October 23rd, you can get Origin Form Giratina from raid battles. So, that's pretty cool. I don't play a ton of Pokemon Go anymore, but I know people like Pokemon Energy and stuff play that, so they'll enjoy that. And they also introduced a new autumn event where they added Deerling and Sawsbuck to the game, and it's got all types of autumn challenges and what have you. But yeah, so that's cool. New Pokemon, new legendary.
I like Deerling.
Yeah, Deerling's cute. Sawsbuck's okay. They're not my favorite Pokemon, honestly. But I also wasn't when Black and White first came out. I wasn't a huge fan of them. They've kind of gotten better in my mind as time's gone on, but
hmm
I wasn't a huge fan to start with. So, all right. And a follow-up to last week's episode, the pilot, now in Sword and Shield, you can get a Pikachu with Ash's hat from Sinnoh from Diamond and Pearl. This code is too convoluted to read over the stream like the last one was. It's Volt Tackle Pika, but there's a lot of I's and O's replaced with zeros and ones.
Yeah,
So
just send it to me and I'll put it in the video.
we'll add it.
Yeah.
That'll be available till November 30th. So you got plenty of time to redeem them. So if you didn't catch, I think the one from last week, I think they're all until November 30th. So you should have plenty of time. All right. And now moving on to the next edition of Only Rory Cares About This Pokemon Masters Minute. Because only I care about Pokemon Masters, but we're still going to put it in here. Yeah, they added new story chapters, which if you play the game, that's super rare. They never add story chapters to that game. We get new story chapters every 5 months. So it's pretty rare. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I don't remember the last main story chapters we got. This one is cool though because there's a new free-to-play sync pair that comes with it. Mullane from Sun and Moon. He comes with him and a Alolan Dugtrio.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, it's good because there aren't a ton of Steel-type strikers in the game, and all the other ones are not free-to-play. He's pretty much the first free-to-play striker.
Okay.
Because before, your only option was Steven, who was on a banner that you have to summon on. So, I mean, it's free to play in that you get free gems that you could spend on the banner, but if you don't get it, you're kind of out of luck. Whereas Mullane, anybody could get. For some reason, Steel type's been really rare in that game, especially as strikers. So, yeah. And that was Only Rory Cares About This Pokemon Masters Minute. Get used to that section. All right. And the last bit of news before we kind of get to our big discussion of the week here is that there's a new event in Pokemon Cafe Mix until October 21st where you can get, I always feel like I pronounce this Pokemon's name wrong, Hatterem? The Hatterem?
Yeah.
Hattrem. You can get, basically you got to do enough missions with it to go ahead and get its friendship up, and then you can get it added to the cafe so it can work for you and what have you.
What the heck even is the Pokemon Cafe Mix?
So it's a free to play game that came out, I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago. It's on Switch and on phones, but it's like almost like a Bejeweled, but not really. You do a lot of like matching Pokemon and trying to get like big combos going and stuff. It's hard to explain.
Okay.
It's like a matching sort of Bejeweled game, but not they don't go in like a grid that drops down. You like match them in the grid and then everything drops. Instead, you're like tasked with like getting rid of certain things before you have like a turn limit, and you got to get rid of all these things in that turn limit. So when you connect the Pokemon, they disappear. And then there's like other rules. It gets really complicated. I played it when it first came out. To be completely honest with you, I haven't played it much.
Okay.
I played quite a bit the first couple days, and then it kind of reminded me of Pokemon Masters, where I don't care as much about the gameplay. It was more about adding the adorable. Because I will say the art in Pokemon Cafe Mix is adorable, and it's more about like adding the Pokemon I like to my cafe than it is. Are you looking up Pokemon Cafe Mix right now?
Yeah.
It's more about the collection aspect than the actual gameplay, if I'm going to be completely honest, just like Pokemon Masters.
Okay, this game does look adorable.
The art is adorable.
Okay.
And the game's fun. It's just like, I probably put like 5 hours into it, and then I kind of just fell off. But I've always meant to go back. They've had like different events since then that have kind of made me want to play again. And maybe if they were doing something like more Halloween themed, I would definitely go back. Like give away like a Gorgeist or a Pumpkaboo or something. But Hatterum's cool. Like, I don't mind Hatterum, and it is adorable in the game. But yeah. So that's the end of the news, kind of. Now we're going to enter a sensitive discussion that I want to preface all of this by saying we're not going to bash on anybody. We're just going to give honest opinions here. I don't want anybody to think that we're coming for, any famous people we may talk about. We really want to talk about kind of an effect on the community. But the big thing is, Logan Paul got into Pokemon cards, and everything's kind of gone crazy in the past week.
Yeah.
He's been dropping a lot of money on Pokemon cards, and there's been, just a lot of ripple down effects in the community. And we wanted to touch on it. Again, we're not going to put personal feelings in about the celebrities we talk about here, so we're not trying to offend anybody by talking about them. We're just going to be honest. So,
yeah.
Anyways, Logan Paul basically bought a $200,000 box of a base set, and then he opened it. He did pull a Charizard that it was appraised, at least by the stream. He didn't send it away for appraising or anything, I don't think, but it was appraised on the stream for like $40K. Like, somebody said it would be a 9, but he did pull a base set Charizard. I don't think it's shadowless, though. I don't remember. Maybe it is.
It's the first edition.
But is it shadowless?
It's like the very first one. It's the most expensive version of the Charizard that you can get.
So I know that the first edition sets have like, there's like a shadow one and a non-shadow one. So
well, it goes first edition, and then I believe it's shadow, and then it's shadowless.
So it came later. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it came first. Like first edition is like literally the first one.
So none of the first editions are shadowless? Because I know the shadowless ones are the most expensive ones.
And this is the hardest part, is because I watched his video, and he explains it in his video. Like, and it's correct how he explains it. There's the first edition, which is the very first set ever released with the stamp on it. And then you have the shadowless version, I believe. Or no, it's either shadow or shadowless. I can't remember. I get those ones mixed up. But basically there's that, and then there's first edition base set. That was the very last one of the first editions to get released.
But I know the
from what I can
shadowless
remember.
is the one. I know the shadowless one is the one everybody wants.
Mhm.
That's like the one that everybody's like, it's the shadowless base set. So, you know, we showed our inexperience with vintage cards
Yeah.
there. We're not vintage collectors,
Mhm.
honestly. Like, we're interested in it, but we don't I don't have 200K to drop on a
Yeah.
box of base set. But yeah, and then there was some more stuff where he like sold the pack for like $11,000 a piece.
So this is what happened, okay?
Yeah, AJ is our resident. I tasked him yesterday with being our reporter on this. I said, go look into all the Logan Paul stuff and return to me.
So let me just preface this. Logan Paul did an extremely good job on his video about buying that box. I don't think it's really a gimmick. I think he is genuinely into Pokemon, but I think he got back into Pokemon for the wrong reason. And that being money. And that being said, there can be money in Pokemon, but the vintage prices are always going up and down. But he bought that, and then him buying the $200,000 box, right, was a record-setting thing. And what he did is, have you ever heard of box breaks? That's what he did with that box. Is he sold all the packs in there? They're anywhere from like 1,100 to like 1,500, or no, it was like 11,000. Yeah, it was 11,000 to like all the way up to like I think 15,000. I saw like per booster pack. And what he did is he did that, and then he like normal box breaks, he streamed it online. And that's what me and you were seeing a lot of, was him opening that. And basically those people who bought those packs, they got what was in there. So like if he opened a Charizard and it was in a pack somebody bought, that Charizard was theirs. It's not Logan Paul's. But one of the plus sides was during the stream, and I don't know how much he raised, but during the stream, he did what a lot of like Twitch streamers do and everything like that. Any donations he received during that stream went to a mental health organization. So he did, I think it was like somewhere around like $111,000 or something like that. But yeah, so that's what happened with that stream.
And then I also was reading, I believe that he came out and he said that he had a 50K sponsor who sponsored the video to start with. And I think he said that he was donating the entire 50K.
Yeah, he did. Everybody knows about Logan Paul. But yeah, he did do a lot of good with this.
Yeah.
With this.
Well, that's why I don't like, I wanted to start this conversation by saying I'm not gonna bash him. Like, we all know he's done not great stuff in the past. That doesn't mean that he's doing this maliciously.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to touch on right after this kind of some of the trickle down effects. I know right after that, the rapper Logic, he went to an auction, an online auction, and he got a base set Charizard for $226,000, which broke the previous record for that card by 50K.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's going to be like this huge blow up of like celebrities getting into this, what have you, or if it's just, these couple. I'm okay with like celebrities if they love it. And you talked to me right after, and you said that watching it, you could tell that Logan Paul was legitimately getting joy from it. Which That's
him,
important to me. Whether he
yeah.
got in it for the right reasons or not, I care that he's doing it because he likes it,
Hmm.
not because. And I mean, of course, it's his job. His YouTube's his job. He's gonna make some type of money on it, I'm sure. My biggest problem with the whole thing isn't even Logan Paul himself. My problem with it has been more there's been a trickle down of people just like using Logan Paul's like name and stuff to try to get followers and clout in the community and stuff. And that's why I want to preface this by saying we're not going to put Logan Paul's face on this video. We're not going to put Logan Paul in the title. We don't want anybody to think like, hey, you talk about people using Logan Paul to gain clout and followers and stuff, but then you put him in your title, you put him on your thumbnail, what have you. So we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just been a lot of people who seem like they're trying to kind of jump on to the coattails of this to try to gain followers from it, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. There has been a lot of trying to look up how much was a Pokemon booster pack, the first edition, what was before all this happened.
Well, while you
So
do that, like while he's doing that, I mean, like I said, we're not vintage collectors.
yeah.
So when it comes to collecting the cards itself, at least as of right now, it doesn't have a ton of effect on us. It doesn't seem like Logan Paul is really going out and buying Darkness Ablaze or anything, which is kind of our realm. We mostly are doing the newer stuff, so it doesn't appear to be affecting us. And hey, if you're enjoying what Logan Paul's doing and you want to make a video of it, go
Yeah.
for it. I'm not necessarily saying if you put a Logan Paul thing in it that you're using him to gain followers. I've just seen people that seem to be doing it in bad faith.
Yeah. So this is on PSA's website. This is from 2018, and just with our confusion of the three different versions of first edition, really, for Pokemon, it says that the first edition boxes go around $50,000. So let's look at this inflation, because one, these first edition boxes are putting a price on them is kind of hard to do, just because when they come up, it's like a unicorn. Like, they don't come up often. So there's that. And then it says the casual price of a first edition booster pack was anywhere from like 800 and up. So let's look at the prices he was charging per booster pack here. So you have all these YouTubers that are making these videos of, I spent this money on this booster pack from Logan Paul, and they're trying to make video, and they're trying to gain clout from Logan Paul. I guess whatever you got to do for views, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. That's kind of my biggest issue with it, is just if you're a big Logan Paul fan and you want to, be excited about Logan Paul doing this, you want to buy it, you want to show people, like, I get it. It's
Yeah.
just more the people that are like so like in your face about it, like, and like even just like casually, just like, they're just putting his face and name everywhere on their stuff, and
Mhm.
they're clearly just trying to get
They're
the
abusing
kind of,
it.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's hard. I
Yeah.
get it. You kind of get wrapped up in the excitement of all of it.
Yeah.
So
Because the thing is we watched another video from a YouTuber. I forgot his name, but I'll put the link down below. But he went over Logan Paul's video that he put up where he's talking about buying the booster box, and there was some false information in the video. But for the most part, like 95% of the information that came out of the video was actually correct. Logan Paul was clearly getting swindled in the video that he was making from sellers. And I think that's a point that should get brought up. Your Charizard that you really should have paid like around 20 to like even anywhere from 20 to 30,000 being a push for the one that he was buying. The buyer was like, yeah, sometime around Christmas you can sell it for like 40 to 50,000. Says who?
Wait, the Logan Paul bought a Charizard?
Yeah, Logan Paul bought a lot of graded cards. And
Gotcha. That I didn't know.
he did buy a Charizard from a known seller that is in this for the money, and that's really about it.
Mhm.
And he was getting 100% swindled by the seller.
Well, you said a box generally goes for 50K. I mean,
Mhm.
he bought it for 200K, so I would think that. I mean,
That was an auction though. That was an online
mm,
auction
so it
by
kept
like
going up.
a prestigious like auction place that, I mean, that's what it was there for.
That
Um
makes sense.
and this box that he was buying is like stupid rare. So it kind of
Mm,
made sense as to the price that it went up to. Um
okay.
and there are so many different versions of this, the first edition boxes. So I don't know if I have the right information from PSA, but yeah. Um that's what happened. He did that, and I get, and like with Logic too, I watched the videos of him opening the cards. Um, he did seem like he was enjoying it, not as much as Logan Paul.
I didn't even know that Logic opened any cards. I only
Yeah,
knew that he went in on that Charizard.
he
Um,
he opened the box that he got, the booster box.
oh, I didn't know that Logic got a box.
Yeah, he bought like the cheapest version of the first edition versions, and it was like 20K or something like that. And he opened
Yeah.
it and he got a Charizard. But then again, I'm watching this video and he has a guy that like knows how to grade cards, and like it's the crappy 480p zoom call that he's on, and he holds the Charizard up to the camera and the guy's like, oh, that's at least a 9. Like, you don't
Mm,
know that. You looked at the card for like 2 seconds.
gotcha.
Like,
Yeah.
that's my other thing that I think is kind of bugging me with this like trickle down effect, I guess, is like these people are taking advantage of these upper class people that have the money for this, and I think they're giving them false information.
Mm,
Not everybody. I mean, there are people that are giving them good. There are avid collectors that are selling to these people for decent prices. But yeah, Logan Paul has honestly spent the most out of those two from what I've seen.
mm,
He's easily spent like probably around like 300 to 400,000 on cards, I would
yeah.
have to think. But out of the two, Logan Paul seems to be enjoying it the most. Like you can see the pure joy on his face when he's opening them. But with Logic, I kind of get the vibe of it's more of a flex than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mean, who doesn't enjoy opening Pokemon cards? But like, he's opening them on his Instagram, and it's like a giant flex the way he's acting.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just kind of, I don't know, doesn't rub me the right way. And
Gotcha.
I do sound like I'm coming off like gatekeepy with this, but as long as you're enjoying it, cool. This doesn't have any effect on me because I'm not going to collect like vintage high dollar Pokemon cards. I don't have the money for that. But like, one thing that's bugging me is like this all started from the guy Gary V telling them about these cards,
Mm-hmm.
and as an investment, whereas these cards, the Charizard is worth so much because of the collector value of it. Like, people are always going to want to collect it, but because there's not many of them in existence right now that are graded, and or just in general, uh and with them buying these packs and everything and putting more into existence, you're telling these people you have got this person into this hobby for investment. Well, now the price, because there's more of them in existence, is going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, because of the hype around it, no, but later on, yes. Um, so there's that, and then you might have the same thought of this, but it's going to bring in the collectors. So, or it's going to bring in new hobbyists, I guess is the right word to say. So just people who are like, oh yeah, Pokemon cards, like, I'm gonna go get some. So what are they gonna grab off the shelf that's readily available?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna get any Champions Path that's available. They're gonna get any Darkness Ablaze, any like Rebel Clash. So that means like in the coming months, we have Vivid Voltage coming out. Vivid Voltage is probably going to be very hard to get here in a little bit, if this hype keeps building, which is going to affect all of us that have been collecting for like a while. We haven't been collecting as much as some people, but I mean, this is what we do. This is what we like. This is our hobby, and now there's this sudden boom in it. And
Mhm.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is like I talked to you about before, was I was very into collecting shoes, and then the hype around that got to the point where like you couldn't go in the store anymore, you couldn't get your shoes, and like now it's next to impossible to get. And I
Mhm.
just don't want that to happen to this hobby at all. Um,
Yeah.
because there are limited things that come out that are just like, yeah, you just have to be like, I'm not getting that. Unless like I'm there when it like drops online. But like I have a feeling that it's going to be like that with cards, because we've seen it with Champions Path. Now Champions Path came out before all this hype started, but
And it's a
you
limited set,
yeah,
so you gotta
and is
take
a
that in
limited
mind.
set, and Champions Path was hard enough to get already. So that's just my. I guess I should put it this way: if you're gonna collect, collect because you want to and because you enjoy it. There are people that do invest in their cards, which I think is fine. But as long as you're doing it because you enjoy the cards, not because you want to swindle people out of their money. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm not trying to be gatekeepy about it, because welcome anybody into the community that wants to collect, but like I'm just scared that this is going to get overhyped more than it should, and I think it's going to make getting cards even harder.
All right. If you see a weird edit here, we had a quick technical difficulty, so we're uh we're just kind of jumping back in here. So yeah, my counterpoints. You made a lot of good points that I agreed with. My main counterpoints are: I think that Logan Paul has a ginormous fan base that has a lot of people. It's got kids that have never really gotten to Pokemon cards. It's got older people that had moved away from Pokemon and then, hadn't thought about it for 15 years. And now maybe they're back wanting to collect cards again. And, they want to collect cards because, they love Pokemon. So I think that's really cool. That's kind of the mirror side of the scalpers that you were talking about. Um, my other thing is, I think it's okay if you want to sell Pokemon cards. Like, I think it's okay if you get into it because you want to sell cards, as long as you're not being a scalper who goes and buys a Champions Pass trainer box for $50 and then buys 10 of them so they could go sell them on the internet for $100 a piece.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest problem is the scalpers. Because like last week I went to Target on my lunch break on Friday to get a Burning Shadows trainer box that I had saw there a couple days before for us to open up on a live stream, because we didn't have any more Champions Pass left, but we wanted to open something on Instagram. So I went and I turned the corner and they must have just stocked the shelf because the shelf was packed with Champions Pass trainer boxes. So I bought two then, which both turned out to be not great. But I bought two and I went on my way because that's all I needed was two. And I knew that if I didn't buy those two right now, I wasn't going to get any more champions. This is like my last chance to get any of those trainer boxes. So I got those two. And then somebody that I know, one of their friends went after I told them that I found it. And literally the next day they went, it was all gone. The shelf was completely full. And I know that somebody went in there and dumped all of these ETBs into a cart and walked out, checked out and went and sold them online.
Yeah.
If you are buying a bunch of trainer boxes because you want to open them because you have a channel or you think it's fun, I'm okay with that. I'm of the mind that you should leave some behind for other people, but as long as you're opening them for fun, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the only part that I run into a problem with is when you start collecting or buying cards so that you could go scalp them on the internet because they're rare. I'm
Mhm.
not talking about I've got a PSA 10 Charizard that I want to sell for all this money. Yeah, I mean you have that investment. I'm talking about the people that are like let me go buy 20 Champions Pass boxes so I could sell them online at 100,
Yeah.
for $100 a piece. That's where my problem comes with the scalping, is like, that's what I don't like. And like you said, I am afraid of that. I don't want to jump to conclusions just because Champions Pass was a limited release that we already knew we were going to have a lot of problems getting.
Mm-hmm.
You can only get the boxes, you can't buy singles. So I don't want to freak out yet. I want to see how Vivid Voltage goes. They're going to have singles on the shelf, so I think that'll be different. I think it'll be different. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I don't think, like, I can go to Target. Like, I've gone to Target. Like, there's always Darkness Ablaze on the shelf. So,
Yeah.
and that has a Charizard in it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not shiny and it's not rainbow, but it does have a Charizard in it.
Yeah.
So I'm not freaking out yet. I'm cautiously okay still. I'm not. I think Vivid Voltage, personally, I think it's going to be okay as of right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Company acknowledging that there was a shortage of Champions Pass and they're going to print more does give me some hope that in the future there won't be as many shortages because they'll predict what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my takes. Those are kind of my counterpoints.
Yeah.
In the end, I think we both agree, as long as you're enjoying it, having fun,
Yeah.
or being reasonable with your selling, we don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
If Logan Paul's having fun opening Pokemon cards,
more power to him. Yeah.
Go open Pokemon cards. The fact that you told me that it seemed like he was happy doing it,
yeah,
that made me happy, because when I first heard about it, I was like, oh my God, he's just doing this to. But after you told me he at least seemed like he was having fun with it, I kind of calmed down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing, is like I did come at Logic a little bit, but it's mainly for the fact of the flexing of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like Logic, I mean, he's enjoying it. As long as you're enjoying it, I'm with you. It's like, if you want to buy like 5 booster, not boxes, but booster cases of that, I mean, that's a bunch of Pokemon cards now. So let's say you went to your like local card shop or something and you bought all the pre-orders and now there's none left, but like you're going to open all of those. That I'm fine with that. Like, as long as you're doing it. It's kind of like because with the scalpers and everything, in the shoe community they call them resellers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my problem comes in.
I think that's probably what they call them in the Pokemon community too. But not.
I don't
I'm not
even
in
know
touch with that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I like equate it to is, buying tickets for a football game and then going out and scalping them on the street. Like that's.
So like,
it's probably. I mean, I'm sure the correct term is resellers.
Yeah. So that's my problem that I'm worried about, is resellers. And I also was scared that the inventory was going to get run low, but after like you talking and everything, I don't think it'll be sudden. I think it'll be an over time type deal. Cause like when the resurgence came in of like people figuring out you can resell shoes and everything, that took a good like 3 years for all of that to come in, for it to be like next to impossible to get shoes. Mm-hmm. So I think if it happens, it's not going to be sudden. It'll be over time that you'll start to see it. But yeah, I mean, I don't want another hobby of mine to get thrown in the trash again, just because it being impossible. But I do think a lot of good can come from this, just because Logic is huge and Logan Paul are huge, and that can mean a lot. That can mean even more Pokemon cards getting printed, and it's even easier to get a hold of them now. So who knows? I'm excited either way, but I am worried at the same time. So like if there's some new person that's like, yeah, I started collecting because of Logan Paul, I'm not gonna be like, oh God, here we go again. I'm not gonna be gatekeepy about it. I'm gonna be like, yeah, dude, like cool. Like if you ever want to talk about Pokemon, like we can talk about it.
Yeah. So, I however you get into it, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I think all of that's cool. I'm gonna take, when I first heard the news, I was very
We were both
worried.
we were both worried and upset.
Now I'm more think I'm leaning towards cautiously optimistic that this isn't,
Yeah, that's
if
the
any market's
perfect.
going to be
Yeah,
affected, it's going to be and sorry if you're part of the market that buys, vintage cards and like the really vintage cards and what have you, but we're just not in that market.
yeah,
So it doesn't, at least as of right now, it doesn't have a huge effect on us. But
yeah.
well,
I would sound petty if I was gonna get into that part of it because it's like it doesn't affect me. So
yeah. So yeah, well, I think that's all we've got on that.
yeah,
I think that went a little bit longer than we knew it was going to be long,
yeah.
but I think it went a little bit longer than we thought. The episodes are not usually going to be this long. We're probably going to hit 45 minutes here. The episodes maybe
Mhm.
more, but the episodes are not usually. We're aiming for like a half hour generally. So
Mhm.
that's just kind of a huge thing that's happening right now that we needed to touch on. Well, anyways, it's AJ's favorite time. Much like the first episode, we're going to do some trivia this week because we don't have a setup to do any card stuff yet. So we're going to do trivia this week. We'll see if we do it next week or if I can be a little bit more clever in my game. But AJ, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question 1. The old amber is used to used to revive which Pokemon? By the way, these will be going in cascading order of getting harder as we go.
Okay.
This is the easiest question. So the old amber is used to revive which Pokemon? Is it A, Ulmanite, B, Aerodactyl, C, Kabuto, or D, Lilip? Lilip. I call it Lilip, but I think it's Leap technically. Do you need the answers again?
You said Aerodactyl?
A, Ulmanite, B, Aerodactyl, C, Kabuto, D, Leap.
I think I'm gonna do Aerodactyl.
The answer is final answer?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's Aerodactyl.
Oh, nice.
You've already scored as many as you did last week. You're playing with house money now. So, all right. Question number 2. Which shiny Pokemon was owned by Ash in the Pokemon anime?
Oh
Is it
god.
A, Noctowl, B, Krokorok, C, Fampy, D, Pidgeotto? Is it A, Noctowl, B, Krokorok, C, Fampy, D, Pidgeotto?
I think I'm gonna go with A. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I'm just gonna go with a
A,
shiny
Noctowl?
owl. Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I don't know.
The answer is A, Noctowl.
Nice.
You've already beat last week. You already beat the pilot. So, but now we're going to get harder. Maybe. All right. Question 3. Which generation introduced the most new Pokemon to the franchise? Is it A, Generation 5, that's black and white, B, Generation 1, red and blue, Generation 7, sun and moon, or D, Generation 4, diamond and pearl? So is that A, black and white, B, red and blue, C, sun and moon, or D, diamond and pearl?
I'm going red and blue.
So your answer is Generation 1, red and blue.
Yeah.
That's your final answer.
Yeah, I just think more Pokemon were brought in because they needed more.
Well, I've got news for you. You're wrong.
Okay.
It's Generation 5, which is black and white.
Okay.
They introduced 156 new Pokemon.
Holy crap.
So keep in mind, black and white was considered not a reboot of the franchise, but it's supposed to mirror Pokemon Red and Blue. And not only that, in the original Red and Blue games, you could only catch Pokemon from Red and Blue. It wasn't like the other generations where there were, different Pokemon from different generations in the region. In Black and White, there were only Pokemon from Black and White until you completed. Yeah, until you completed, you got the National Pokedex after you beat the Pokemon League.
Okay.
Until then, you could only catch the Pokemon from Black and White.
Okay. That's interesting.
All right. Final question. Which Pokemon has had the most cards based off of them in the Pokemon TCG? Is it A, Pikachu? Is it B, Meowth? Is it C, Charizard? Or is it D, Eevee? Again, that's A, Pikachu, B, Meowth, C, Charizard, or D, Eevee?
Now, when you say Eevee, does that mean the evolutions too?
Eevee.
Pikachu.
So your answer is Pikachu.
Yeah.
That's your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Well, AJ, I can safely say you did much better this time than you did last time because the answer is A, Pikachu.
Yeah,
and do you
so
want to know
much.
how badly Pikachu is beating everybody else?
Yeah, it's by a lot.
Eevee has 53 cards based on it. Guess how many Pikachu has?
Probably over 1,000.
No, you went way too far. You went way too far the other way.
Really?
It has 174 cards.
That's it?
On it.
I would have thought it would have been up there because like the promos and the special editions and everything.
Yep. Nope. Eevee had 53. That was the next closest on.
Now, does that count? Does that count with like trainer cards and stuff, or just the Pokemon itself?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume that these are actually cards that are named Pikachu.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, that makes more sense.
I would assume.
Yeah.
And then Meowth has 45 and Charizard has 40. So yeah, it's because Charizard's an evolved form. Mm-hmm. So generally in there, you're not gonna just add a Charizard card because it's not a base. So that's why there's fewer Charizards than you think. I tried to chip you up with the Charizard and the Eevee, honestly, but
it wasn't gonna happen.
I was really going more for making you overthink the obvious answer.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's it. You did much better this time. 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
That just means I'm gonna have to make harder ones next time.
Yeah.
You did too good this time.
I'm getting smart. Well, no.
That's it. That's the second episode. No, I'm sorry. That's the first episode of the Lavender Tone.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, probably ended up a lot longer than our episodes will normally go. The Logan Paul discussion took a long time. So outside of that, yeah, thanks for joining me here, AJ. I appreciate you, coming by to your permanent guest spot.
Yeah.
AJ clearly had some feelings about the Logan Paul stuff. Yeah. He got it off his chest.
So. I had to, but that's just me.
All right, everybody. Well, it's Halloween, so I'm going to ask you one last question, AJ. It's not Halloween, but it's October. What is your favorite horror movie franchise?
My favorite horror movie franchise? I don't know, man. Probably Halloween.
Well, we're boring because that's also my favorite. So. Well, that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully you can come by for the next shorter one.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.